NBA Youngboy has been experiencing a lot of lows lately, especially with the fact that he might be spending a lot of time behind bars. He really needed a win to come his way, and soon. Well, it looks like he got it, and it's a big one. With all of the huge albums that were released last month, Youngboy found himself among some tough competition, but somehow he found himself on top, and how cool is that? Be sure to watch until the end of the video to find out what Youngboy was the third artist in music history to do. Drake's CLB album beat Donda and Montero. So how awesome have the past few weeks been in terms of new music releasing? Over the course of September, hip-hop fans were blessed with not one, but 4 albums with some of the most hottest artists in modern times. There is no doubt about it, if you are a hip-hop fan, you had a ton of new tracks to blast. I mean, we were all graced with Kanye West's album Donda. Finally! It felt like we had to wait forever for that one, but hey, when it finally arrived, it definitely delivered. From features by artists like 5EO, Foreign to Lil Baby, that album had some bangers, so it was no surprise that it came out swinging and landed itself on top of the charts. However, its life at number 1 wouldn't last long. As soon as Donda was available to stream, fans were waiting to hear from Drake.
I look at Drake as like an amazing sparring partner. You know, someone is like, come on man, get back up. Bow, get back up.
It was highly speculated that Drake was going to attempt to release his new album on the same day as Ye's, but he ended up dropping it a few days later. On September 3rd of this year, Drake released his album, Certified Lover Boy. Almost immediately, the album sales numbers gave Donda a run for its money, and in no time, Drake found his new album sitting comfortably on top. This wasn't the first time one of his albums achieved this status though. CLB is actually Drake's 10th time in the position of number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. But don't let that downplay this achievement, because as soon as it made its way to number 1, CLB was there to stay.
Drake boasts one of the most dominant weeks in the 63-year history of the Billboard Hot 100, as he becomes the first artist ever to claim as many as 9 of the top 10 positions. The superstar also monopolizes the entire top 5, a feat previously achieved only by the Beatles for a week in 1964.
Fans were loving it. The album had a total of 21 tracks, with a handful of them receiving features from artists like Kid Cudi and 21 Savage. The album was so successful that it even managed to fight off other major releases and keep its title as number 1 for 3 weeks in a row. Fans did have some speculation that Lil Nas X might see this new album take Drake's crown. However, this wasn't the case. Lil Nas X dropped his studio album titled Montero on September 17th, 2 weeks after CLB came out, and a lot of people expected it to take the number 1 spot. But that never happened. Instead, CLB held firmly in its place and saw Montero come in at the number 2 slot on the Billboard chart, which is still a great thing for Lil Nas X. However, just a short while ago, rumors began to spread that claimed that even though he is behind bars, NBA Youngboy still planned on dropping his album. And fans rejoiced when the day finally came and the world was able to stream his newest album, Sincerely, Cantrell. NBA Youngboy's Sincerely Cantrell. Just 1 week following the release of Lil Nas' album, NBA Youngboy finally released Sincerely Cantrell, and fans could not have been happier with it. The album was full of great tracks and is easily going down as one of Youngboy's best albums hands down. It's going to be a hard one to top, and to think that he dropped it while being locked up? That's wild. And as you probably know, Youngboy has been behind bars for a while now.
Los Angeles police tried to arrest him on the federal warrant, but he led them on a high-speed chase and then took off on foot before he was taken into custody.
After being arrested and indicted on a gun charge. The arrest was pretty crazy and involved an entire SWAT operation and everything. Youngboy's attorneys stand by their claim that the surprise tactic of arresting him in California was unnecessary. It was simply a show of force and power upon an individual by the government.
With his voice barely above a whisper, Golden entering not guilty pleas to both charges. A trial on those federal charges is set for June.
Either way, no matter how you paint it, from lockup, Youngboy dropped one of the hottest albums of 2021. Sincerely Cantrell consisted of 21 tracks, much like Drake's album did. However, the major difference between the two is the fact that Youngboy's album doesn't contain a single feature. Now that's rare. For a 21-song album to not have a single feature, that almost never happens. To make things even better for Youngboy fans, he even added 2 surprise tracks to the album, which he actually recorded from over a prison phone. This was not only a treat to his fans, but it also shows the amount of work he is willing to put into his music. He isn't even going to let something like facing time in prison keep him from his craft. Instead, he is going to use it to motivate him to work harder. With a work ethic like that, it's no wonder the album hit so hard and managed to make its way onto the Billboard 200 chart. Not only did he make it onto the chart though, but he also managed to make it to the top and take the crown away from Drizzy and his Certified Lover Boy album. Drake dethroned after 3 weeks. On October 1st, 2021, fans of Youngboy were happy to find out that his new album had managed to take over Drizzy's spot at the top, and Sincerely Cantrell was officially the #1 album on the Billboard 200 chart. This was a huge win for Youngboy, and Drake had finally been dethroned. According to Youngboy's team, this has been the biggest release that the rapper has seen over the course of his career in hip-hop. As of right now, it is still racking up major numbers, and the fact that he managed to put it out while behind bars is impressive in itself, let alone the fact that it's the first album to beat Drake's in over 3 weeks. Another really cool thing about Youngboy hitting the charts this hard while still being locked up is that this has made him the 3rd artist in music history to make #1 while being incarcerated. How crazy is that? The only 2 artists in history before him to do this was Lil Wayne and the late great Tupac. That's right, Youngboy is now in the hip hop history books next to 2 of the GOATs. Final thoughts. I knew NBA Youngboy is one of the top artists out there right now, but I never would have guessed that he would have been the one to take the crown from Drake. That's awesome and good for him. And the fact that he did it while behind bars should at least give him some feeling of positivity in his life right now, which he probably needed really bad. I wonder how long Sincerely Cantrell is going to stay on top. I guess we will just have to wait and see. For now, be sure to subscribe to stay in tune with all of our hip-hop news and information. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on our next upload. Until next time, stay safe out there.